We're going to demonstrate a 45 toss. Here, we're facing the front as if this is our front. I wanted to show you how her hands are in the middle of the pole. Both thumbs are going down the pole. And then here, when she releases, we'll stop at the release point, she's carving and then bringing the tip on the 45, establishing that plane. We'll try that one more time. At this position here, you'll notice that she's starting on a 45, and the tip is carving out. Good. And that establishes that diagonal type release. We'll try one more. And out. Now, this type of release is very similar. Will you show the pop toss position facing the... This is very similar where we're grabbing and pushing. One hand is pushing, one hand is releasing. Okay, it's the same idea. Now when we face this way and change the plane, again, it's really very similar. We'll go to the release point, and then this hand will control the height, and this will give it a little bit of spin. And then we'll throw 145 toss facing the same way. And you'll notice here, she releases it. She's pushing, and both arms are swinging down, helping her give that rotation. We'll take one more. Notice how her arms help the release. Great. And then when she catches here, she's putting the left hand into the silk, right hand by the tab, establishing that same plane. Now let's demonstrate how to get into the toss with the wrong plane. If you start at the 45, often we need to be careful that we'll take the tip and we'll scoop it under, perhaps a little bit, which distorts the 45. So when we release the pole, we're starting with the tip of the pole, carving it out. And that establishes through flat, mid-waist flat, then into the release point, 45. That establishes that 45-degree angle, that clean release that we're looking for. We'll take one toss. Good. A little bit more push of the left hand will give it a quicker rotation. Yeah. Great. Okay, notice how she's releasing it to the back now. Same release, you see more of the silk. So when we're making those choices to throw 45 tosses, but depending on our vantage point where our audience is sitting, we want to take in consideration where the silk is opening up to. So now at the same toss facing back, you see more of the silk. And then now she's going to release them to the back 45, back corner. It gives a different look. As she pushes through flat and the 45 and then out. We're going to demonstrate another 45 toss. Here, the prep into it is a little bit different. The carving pathway is different. And then where she's letting go from is different. So the weight now changes depending on where her hand is before she releases. So into this toss, we'll stop at the cradle. And she's lifting up, grabbing into the silk here with the left hand, establishing, again, that 45-degree plane. Then from here, she's going to carve it around the body and then stop at the grab. And this establishes the 45. At this point here, she makes that carving path around her body. She'll stop here at the 45, and she's grabbing in the middle of the silk. So now the weight of this 45 toss is a little bit different because it's coming from the right hand in the middle of the silk. And then from here, she'll release it out, separately, release point. Great. And it's that same path that we talked about earlier where it's carving out and then releasing to the 45 on the 45-degree plane facing back. Take one more release. Out. Now from this point, it'll be the same release, and then when you go to the catch position, the catch on this toss is going to be on this 45 where it was rotating, and she's grabbing it palm over, where the other tosses she was grabbing them with the thumbs up. And now she's going to grab it palm over on this catch. We'll go ahead and take one toss. Lifting up, carving around, and out. Earlier when we did the first 45 toss, it's the same rotation, except the push is happening from both hands. Whereas now we'll do the second toss. It's primarily coming from the right hand and swinging. And that gives it that height and the rotation. So it's a very similar release, except now we're changing the grip into it. The weight of it now changes because we're grabbing from the center of the pole, and it's giving some more height and volume to this release. We'll take a few more. She's cradling it around through plie, and the grip again is over. Again, just giving it a different look. Then will you flow out of that? Sure. In this particular release here, we can grab it on the catch and then flow right out of it and maybe go into another move.